Hey everybody, this is Captain Fool reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic book review. So sit back and enjoy. Alright everybody, for those of you that know the drill, I go over a bunch of comic books for the week that I chose to read. Now I didn't have time to read everything, so if I missed something you think I should have read, let me know in the comments below. Also, you may disagree with me on some of my choices. If that's the case, that's alright. Let me know below. Let's just try to keep it civil. My goal is to bring back the old schoolyard days, where we would be in discussing what hero could beat who or what comic book was good and not. And I come armed with my trusty notes, so you'll hear the paper rattle because I do it a little bit old school. I do my grading on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average as a 70%. So I'm using schoolyard grading. But that's not all. I also use the League of Comics Geeks to give you other people's views as well as a brief overview of the comic book as well. So let's jump right in. The first one I want to talk about today is Nightwing issue 122, where 173 out of 182 liked it with a 4.2 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. You know what? I think Nightwing is on a little bit of an upswing. It's been doing a little bit better. Actually, I give this a 7.5, which surprised me because the writer is Tom Taylor, which usually I don't care for his writing much. The penciler and inker is Sammy SRL, which whatever it is, I butcher names, you know that. So with that said, it's got a pretty cool cover. It's nothing spectacular, but I think the main story of this book is good. They're doing a good job in this issue of giving Batman's view of Nightwing's work and how he's improved as a hero. And I think the artwork has had an uptick in this book too. But the secondary story could have been better. It was just wasted pages that could have been used for the first story. So anyway, what's wrong with Nightwing? We're still slowly diving into that, and that's been a lot of slow progress on there. If you aren't familiar, Nightwing is sort of afraid of heights. It's weird, but he can fly a plane. And there goes more to it there, and Batman's looking into that situation. So what's going on there? Who knows? We might just find out eventually. Here are my notes. The next book I want to talk about is World's Finest. That's Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 25, that is, with 148 out of 161 liking it, with a 4 average rating on League of Comics Geeks, where I gave this one a 7.2. To be honest, not as happy with this issue. The writer continues to be Mark Waid, and the artist is Steve Pugh. The witness the first meeting between the Joker and Lex Luthor in this issue. We join Batman and Superman as the World's Finest team celebrates 25 issues of World's Finest. I will tell you, the first story with Joker and Lex is pretty much all that. It is not Batman or Superman. You get an oversized issue. It's okay. The first story was okay. It's a self-contained story with okay art. The secondary story, though, is where it continues the story from the main series, but you only get a few pages there is all. And honestly, I think this was a bit of a letdown in this issue. I expected a little bit better, a little bit more. I'm not saying it was terrible. I give it a 7.2. I was expecting more. The next one I want to go to is something I got a little bit more out of, and that was Superman number 12. 180 out of 191 liked it, with a 4 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. I came close to that. I gave it a 7.7. The writer is Joshua Williamson. The artist is Norm Rapmund, whatever that is. So as I said, I always butcher names. The Man of Steel teams Lex Luthor against the Lex Luthor Revenge Squad. Yeah, Superman is the brains in this issue, while Lex is actually going to be the brawn, as they team up to battle the Lex Luthor Revenge Squad for the fate of Metropolis. Well, you know what? This was a nice little spin. I'm going to give it that. Luthor's past has came back to haunt him. And Metropolis people are in danger in this issue. Yep. Good story, decent art. This story is getting and growing into something bigger. They're slowly showing us that. They give us a peek of that in this issue. I really do. I think Superman fans will continue to enjoy this. Hey guys, Today's video is sponsored by my wallet. Yeah, I'm not trying to push any kind of wallet or pimp any wallet out. What I mean is it's sponsored by my personal wallet and the cash that comes out of it to pay for these things. If you want to help with this, you can hit like, subscribe, that notification bell. Those are great ways to get started. But if you find yourself in a position where you can help the channel more, we have a Patreon and a subscribe star down below that you can click on those links. And for as little as $1 a month, you'll have special videos and things to just you, music that you can get. Or maybe if you wanted to, a one-time donation just to help out, we have a Streamlabs link down below. Or we also have, if you go to the Patreon shop, you could buy a song for like $3. I wish I could put them a little lower, but that's the minimum they allow for that. So there's lots of options. Sometimes you might even see an Amazon link. If you want to buy anything through Amazon, click on my link first, then go through there. That'll give me a couple pennies, possibly that way too as well. So there's lots of ways you can help out the channel, because without you, it would not be possible. So thank you, everybody. And let's get back to the video. The next one I want to talk about is the Invincible Iron Man number 16, where 84 out of 95 liked it with a 3.7 average rating. I will say this is some of the best Iron Man we've had for quite a while. We got past some really crappy writing for the series. I gave it a 7.5, so I gave it a pretty high score as well. The writer Jerry Duggan and penciler Chris Lee, I think, are doing a good job. D-Day is here, and there's absolutely a main event. Iron Man versus Wei Long. Get ready for the biggest clash of armor you've ever seen, and boy, they do mean big. I will say this is an action-packed issue with good art, but maybe there's just too many full-page spreads. This ends up being a really, really fast read, and the end of this story arc is near. It's been good. It's been interesting. I like these big iron art suits and everything. The action was great, but I really, do we need so many splash pages or full-page art? Can't talk today for some reason. Maybe I need more of my coffee. And normally a few of those, add a lot to a story, but this one had so many, I almost thought it took away, but taken away from it a little bit. But still a good book. If you haven't been reading Iron Man, now might be, or go back some back issues, read this story arc. I think you might be happy with it. The next issue I want to dive into is Vengeance of the Moon Knight number 3, where 108 out of 111 liked it with a 4.3 average rating, where I gave this book an 8 out of 10. Writer Jed McKay, I think, is doing a good job. The artist Alessandro Capico, sorry dude, I think he's doing a good job as well. Vengeance exacted. As the new Moon Knight serves his own vision of justice, Mark Spector's allies and friends take it upon themselves to find his base of operations and take the fight to him, but the Fist of Khonshu hold a bloody and well-earned reputation, one which the likes of Hunter's Moon, Tigra, and Soldier are all about to experience firsthand. Yep, we're going to see a lot of that. It's a solid issue with good art and an interesting story, because the villains are going, oh my goodness, Moon Knight is going over the edge. He's beating us up worse than normal. We need to band together and take him down, and that's causing trouble for his friends there. And you know what? I want to see where this story goes next. I'm enjoying it. I really think you will too. If you are a Moon Knight fan and you're not checking this out, you have to ask, what are you potentially missing here? Check it out. Give it a shot. The next one I want to talk about is Blade number 9, where 54 out of 55 liked it with a 4.3 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. I gave it a 7.4. Not bad. Writers Brian Hill, artist Valentina Pinidi, and Blade leads his dead army. Can't speak, man. I have an issue today. After expanding his dark powers with Dracula and the Hulk, and then traveling into the depths of the underworld to learn more about the Adana, Blade is finally prepared to lead the charge against her. Now, as a master of darkness himself, Blade builds an army of undead monsters from the underworld to rise up. Yep, he's got a team, and he's going to use himself as bait. Yeah, he's gonna have to do something to make him look so bad he uses himself as bait. I think Blade finds a way to get even more of the underworld to hate him this issue, which is pretty fascinating, because I think already a ton of them do. But you look and see what he does in this issue. I don't want to give it away. He really does something to piss off a lot of people. Decent art, good, it's okay story, and pretty good pacing. So if you're a Blade fan, you'll probably be okay with it. If you're not a big Blade fan, though, you probably aren't really going to care for this series, though, to be honest with you. But, so what is it? Take it or leave it. Choice is yours. The next issue I want to dive into is back at DC with Green Lantern War Journal number 7, where 80 out of 84 liked it with a 4 average rating, where I have a big discrepancy here. I gave this one a 6.9. Yeah, big difference from what they gave it. The writer is Philip Kennedy Johnson. The artist is Montos. Since an epic new story arc begins here. After the climactic battle between Jon Stewart, Varen, and the Revenant Queen, a shocking twist has sent Jon to the far reaches of space and time. To the far reaches of space and time. Yeah, way out there. Matter of fact, he doesn't have a clue where he's at. The ring can't even identify where he's at. And he thinks, oh my goodness, how am I going to get to my mommy? It's an okay art, but here's the thing. It's really slow story progression here. It is quite a dull issue. Matter of fact, the most interesting pages, in my opinion, in this is the story pages about his mom and taking care of his mom. I think we could get more meat on the bone here and a better story if we focus more on that arc. I know we're taking him away from that and that's causing a problem, but I think it'd be better maybe with handling a large volume of things and not being able to see his mom and have the guilt of doing that and juggling being a hero and spending the time with his mom rather than being forced away from his mom and can't find his way back. But that's just me. I want to know what your thoughts are because I've been enjoying this series, but this issue was a bit of a letdown for me. I was expecting better. The next book I want to discuss is Spider-Woman number 5. 30 out of 32 liked it, which is not showing really good strong numbers for this book sales with a 4 average rating, where I gave the book a 7, so I'm not too far off of them. I gave it a little lower score. Writer is Steve Fox. The artist is Carlo Borelli. Sorry if I butchered her name. In the fallout from the explosive citywide gang war, Jessica Drew uncovered the terrible truth behind the search for her missing son. If you're not familiar, her son has been aged up and became a member of Hydra. Now, when she's at her lowest, the last thing Spider-Woman wants is an unexpected team-up. Yes, the last thing, matter of fact, any of us readers want is an unexpected team-up with Spider-Boy. Come on now. Stop trying to make everyone like Spider-Boy. This character is stupid. He sucks. If you disagree with me, you like Spider-Boy, more power to you. Let me know in the chat there. Say, yeah, I like Spider-Boy. He's pretty cool. But I find it hard to believe anybody actually likes this character. This character is lame. His book has decent art. It has just a little story progression here. Unless you're a real big Spider-Woman fan, I wouldn't bother with this issue. I like Spider-Woman, so I gave it a shot. I like the character. I just wish they would do better with her. At least we got her in her classic costume, right? We got that going. She'll be hopping on the motorcycle for a road trip next issue. Maybe it'll get better because we were getting farther away from Spider-Boy. Now let's jump into some cool stuff. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, issue number 305. G.I. Joe. 48 out of 48 liked it with a 4.3 average rating from League of Comics Geeks, and I gave this book a solid 7.8. I thought it was a good book as well. The writer is Larry Hama, artist is Chris Monahan, and we have interesting story. Dawn Marino is confronted by a shocking betrayal in Springfield, while her Joe allies discover that dead doesn't necessarily mean dead anymore when it comes to Cobra's newest weapon. And what is Serpentor Khan's true plan? Oh, wow. I would tell you, this is a fun issue. The G.I. Joe is just a story that's picked up in pace. I think I'm enjoying it. It's good art, good story. If you're not a G.I. Joe fan, I get it, maybe not getting this, but if you are a G.I. Joe fan, you probably should be getting this issue. I think you'd be missing out. I really like the cover, too, with Cobra Commander on the cover. I'm a Cobra Commander fan. I think Cobra Commander's cool. There's also some good variant issue covers, especially one with Storm Shadow. So once again, if you are a G.I. Joe fan, you should be checking this out. If you're not normally a G.I. Joe fan, you might still actually want to check it out. It might be a little confusing to get into because it's a little convoluted with all the tech and things from all the zombie stuff, but nonetheless, it is a fun read. Now, the next one I read was Captain Marvel number 6, where 36 out of 38 liked it with a 4.2 average rating, showing that the sales are probably not real great in this issue. I gave it a 7. Yep, a 7. The writer is Lissa Wong, artist is Rari Coleman. And we have the battle for the bands. Yes, you know what bands I'm talking about. Okay, not music bands. It's Captain Marvel Showdown with Carol Danvers and her unwitting sidekicks Yuna Yang continue to slip his grasp. Genis Vale goes after his half-brother Hulkling. Yeah, and the alter Nega Bands and Wiccan's wedding rings. Yeah, the Nega Bands became the wedding rings, which is an interesting thing there. And anyway, we get a lot of action, a lot of fight. There's my paperwork. It's an okay story. It's okay art. The alternate covers, though, that are available for this can be very misleading. As we see Monica Rambeau, she does not appear in this issue at all. And it's an okay issue overall. That's why I gave it a 7. Nothing really to write home about. If you are not a Captain Marvel fan, this isn't going to make you want to run out and get it. But if you are a Captain Marvel fan, you're probably going to be okay with it because it's just that, an okay issue. Next issue I want to talk about is Night Thrasher number 2. The sales don't appear to be probably very good for this because we only have 22 out of 23 with a 4.1 average rating. Yep, 22 out of 23 liking it from League of Comics Geeks, which means that probably not a lot of people reading it to review it. 4.1 average, which is a little higher than I gave it because I gave it a 7.2. And anyway, the writer is Jason Holtham. The artist is Nelson Danielle. And we have Night Thrasher here. Yes, I always thought he was a cool looking character. Night Thrasher has been betrayed by one of his oldest and closest allies, Rage. Remember Rage? Yeah, they actually sort of turned him into a bad guy. Well, maybe not. Did they? I don't know. As he reignited his relationship with Silhouette as well in this issue. He gets his armor done up a little bit. We get another fight here with him versus Rage. But here's, you notice how I sort of said, well, fighting Rage, the bad guy, well, we really don't know. And there's the reason. There's an issue there. I have that. I'll get there in a moment. It's good art. It's good action. But at the end, we look at the damage it's caused and things after the fighting ensues. After stopping criminals. Okay, it doesn't matter what age you are, a criminal's a criminal. What is wrong with stopping criminals, Marvel? This is making me scared that this book is going to take the sad turn that I was afraid it was going to do. It's going to, and I don't know for sure, we're going to find out probably in issue 3, is in issue 3, we might get Night Thrasher getting woke. Yeah, because now after he stopped the criminals, it looks like, oh, the damage thing's done. Am I on the wrong side? Are we going to go woke with this? The side with the people that are looting places? Come on now. Doesn't matter what your situation is. Stealing things is still wrong. It's not heroic. Let's not have this book go to woke path, but I fear that it might. I really hope I'm wrong, because if it does, I'll probably stop reading it and not bother to continue with this. Now, the next one, and my last one, and this was a goodie. This is one, if you have not been reading, you really should. And you don't even have to be a G.I. Joe fan to enjoy it, and that's Cobra Commander number 3. 148 out of 148 liked it. Hey, people are catching on and reading this book. That's good news. With a 4.4 average rating. I gave this book an 8 out of 10, a good high score. The writer is Joshua Williamson, and the artist is Andrea Milana. And anyway, Cobra Commander isn't the only one looking to harness the alien energy source known as Energon. Yes, that connection with the Transformers books. And also, if you're not reading it, read Duke, because it's connected as well. So anyway, that means he has to either take control of the new organizations he's encountered or destroy them. What will Cobra Commander do? This series continues to be great. Really good. Good art. Really brutal panels. This is not your children's cartoon G.I. Joe where a building blows up or a ship or gets shot down, a plane gets shot down. They always jump out and they're okay. There's people shooting at each other on the battlefield and it seems like they always get missed, or at most they get hit is on the shoulder. Ooh, ow, my shoulder. No, this book is brutal panel to panel. This is not, once again, your kid's G.I. Joe. Cobra Commander fans will love this. You should be reading this. Even if you are not a Cobra Commander fan, reading this might just make you one. This is a good book. This is a good book to get potential new fans on. If you want somebody to get interested in G.I. Joe lore, Cobra Commander and Duke are probably 2 ways to do that. Both those books are better than the mainline G.I. Joe book right now, which is not bad either. Well, there you go. There's my thoughts today. I know there's some books that I didn't get to yet, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are. What did you read? What did you enjoy? And I hope to hear from you in the chat below. And until next time, thank these people for this channel, because otherwise it would not be possible. Thank these wonderful people. They are great to support the channel, and you can too as well. Remember, I put that little blurb in there earlier. I hope you can help out too. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, keep it frugal.